Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday evening. It is 9 o'clock. Time to gather in the music room and live stream. But first, as always, a little music. Enjoy. Good evening, Budgie.
We are all the heirs to Scotland, as a nation proudly stand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. To the world we bid a welcome in 1,000 different ways. We will toast to long lost friendships as we build our better days. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum. We are all the heroes of Scotland. We're a nation hand in hand. We will march beneath her banners to protect our ancient land. In the glens and cities, there on every street are the living heroes no army will defeat. Let our flag mean freedom and not a battle drum.
That's pretty tragic. Well, sorry to hear that. I know that'll be a big loss. People who have never had animals as pets, they make light of these things, but that's a deep wound. Oh God, there's another one. Hasdak. Mine's not doing well either. Well, we think we want half her by Christmas. Jings a hang. Well, I'm sorry to tell you folks, but I'm not feeling great myself tonight. So I'm not going to be staying on very long, because I'll just make everybody, I'll just make everybody as miserable as I feel. It's the way this illness just strikes me, folks. It's really, really difficult to put into words. You know, it affects my tummy. Makes me feel as though I need a loo, but I don't. Then I suddenly feel cold and tired. And this all happens instantly. It's one of the reasons why I'm very hesitant about going anywhere far from the house. Yeah. I'd love to have a dog, says Anglo, but I've no time. I can take proper care of them. I'd love to have a cat again, but my neighbour's very, very anti-cat. So he is. My neighbour next door, she's got 2 cats. And ever since they arrived, he's been waging his own personal war on them. So it wouldn't help matters if I had a wee cat. That's part of the reason for this, by the way. Hashtag 10.5. You say your wee dog is. That's a fair age for a dog, of course. My sister's dog, it's going downhill too as well. He's got arthritis. Poor old Barney. I like cats, Spanish. I do. I just like them. I had a great cat. Great cat. Each to their own. Trouble about dogs is, especially now, anything budget. If you've got a dog, you've got to take it for walks. You've got to exercise it. I'm glad you like the beard budgie. I'm not sure about it myself. Most of it's laziness, to be honest. And when I don't feel well, that's the last thing I want to be thinking about is shaving. I've never liked shaving, to be honest. And I've been quite fortunate too, because I've always had a light growth. I'm glad I had a cat once. Loved him to bits. He was a proper outdoor cat. He was brutal. Brought a rabbit by one's chinks. That's something of a kill for a cat, a rabbit. That is brutal. My Rocky brought us a few small birds and a few mice, but nothing like a rabbit. Nasdaq, we got two cats. We got two cats. Two. I said I'm not having any more pets when they're going. Good evening, Treble M. I'm just telling the folks I'm not feeling very well tonight, and I don't intend to stay on for very long, to be honest. I haven't actually had a great week, to be honest. It's Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday I was strutting about here like Superman. Felt great. Brilliant. Following morning, holy moly, I felt as though I was ready for my coffin. Spanish chicken. You're a Highland Terrier, John. That's a good shit. Good evening, Spanish chicken. I had a cat who was a litter of six, says Budgie. She was a wild one. I don't think our Rocky was really a wild cat. He was highly intelligent, of course. I mean, he really was. It's amazing the things that he did under his own steam. One of ours brought a magpie home once. Good grief. Last week we had half-eaten mouse outside our bedroom door. Of course, this is them bringing you tributes. Thank you, Treble M. This is the way this illness seems to work on me. I suppose it could be worse. Well, there's no supposing it could be worse. So I try not to complain about it. So, as I say, I'm not planning on a 2 hour or anything like it. And that's one of the things that's put me off over the years about getting another cat, is my neighbour down the stairs. Well, that's true, Treble M. But I'm sorry to tell you, this is as good as it's going to ever be. They've already told me this. I'm not going to get any better unless the good Lord provides something of a miracle. Yeah, it's possible, of course. He might, in his ultimate wisdom and plan, decide on a miracle is in order for me. Who knows? I don't. Just have to wait for that. But outside of the miracle, uh, it's not going to get any better. I consider myself to be doing rather well when I consider what other people might be going through. Hiya, Streaky, how you doing? Well, I know that all of you do care about me in your own different ways. I understand that. But it's a window. It works both directions. So that's one of the many things that stops me is my neighbour. I will get off. I need to tell you also that Sensum has written me back about the movie night, and he's not going to be available until away in November. So I've sent out an email to Eki and our William, get a vote on what they want to do. Do they want to just to stop until Sensum becomes available? What's that about an operation? You get an operation, Streaky. So it looks as though we have lost the movie review nights until such times as Streaky becomes available again. It's one of these things that happens. Changed his hours of work, and it clashes, of course, because he doesn't finish till after 10 o'clock. So how are you doing there, Will? Are you coping? Running to the loo all day? I've got the opposite problem. Good evening, Ether Elephant. Hope you're well. well, darling. Trying to hide the fact that I'm sitting here, the front of my trousers opened. Well, you have been through the mill, says Treble M, praying for your complete recovery, friend. Good evening, David William. Yeah, it's just the way this illness hits me. There's Unicorn. Decided to include a free schedule of my correspondence with Scott and Company. Replied back to their complaint department, advising them of my new £2,000 fee. Oh, I like it. If I have to fill out an N443 because of negligence. Oh, I really hope, Unicorn, I mean, I do mean this sincerely. I hope you have the personality to deal with that and see it, take it on the light side of life. It's- I don't know. Ah, I like it. Ether says, sorry, it's my policy not to pay fines. Oh, oh, what a person that is. Well, that's one thing about this channel. I've got to say that, and it's been this since the very beginning. And Treble M will know this to be true. I mean, you can all of you in your own different ways can raise a smile and make me laugh, which is quite remarkable, really. I find that remarkable. Yeah, laughter's the best medicine, they say. Yeah, best medicine. So yeah, you've got the knack, ladies and gentlemen, for making me laugh and cheering me up. Oops. With this face, everyone I know should be fit as a fiddle. Anglo, did you see that copper practicing penalty kicks at Manchester Airport? He's been suspended. Make him chief of the Met, I say. No, I didn't. I didn't see it, nor have I heard anything about it, to be honest. Sounds like a hoot. Did he get one? Very good. Did he get one in? Did he score? Good night, said. Seed said. I see the media is whipping up. David saying, I see the media is whipping up the racial tensions. All divide and conquer. Methinks. They're trying to diminish the fallout for the planned pandemic. I'll take your word on it, David. I've been very disconnected recently from such things. But I'll accept what you say. Most of you are on the ball more than I am. Copper booted one out our Muslim brothers in the face. Oh my God. Copper booted one of our Muslim brothers in the face. Super. Oh, I thought I'd like to tell you a wee story, a true story. It's what I spoke about at Laura's funeral, my eulogy. I'd like to tell you about that. Copper of peace. As you all know, or at least I'm assuming you all know, that when I left school at the age of 15, I started a group. 3 guitarists, a drummer, and a front singer. Oh, God's sake. Streaky. The copper had mud in his boots and thought The bearded bee was a boot scraper. So yeah, I started a group, and before very long, we were playing the dance halls around here, the church halls. And in those days, churches of all denominations had youth clubs, and the youth clubs would hire groups like mine and come and play. That brought in the kids, of course, which was the whole idea. Uh, and that was a good thing for everyone. That was good for the churches because they got the young folk in, and gave the young folk the opportunity to meet the opposite sex, dance, let off some steam, listen to the music that was in the top 20, because that's what we would play. And it was through this group, especially when we got onto the dance hall circuit, the local Palladium dance hall. There was the Cragburn, which was Guruk. And we used to have a Sunday gig in St John's Hall in Port Glasgow. Again, a church hall. Wasn't very big, but it was a place to play, and we used it as a rehearsal place, and we got paid. And it was through playing these local events that that's how I met Laura, her and her pal Margaret. Like most teenagers came to the dancing, and that's how we met. And so the Palladium was a Friday night gig. That was a 1 o'clock finish. The Cragburn, you did an interval. What you did there was you did 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock, and in between times it was a band that played the rest of the night. We just did an hour. That was a good gig for us, of course. And did that for many years, and we played other places as well. But mainly, that's how I got to know Laura, the dance halls. And when we played in the Palladium, uh, at the end of the night, her and her pal Margaret would be hanging about the stage, and I would take Laura outside and for a winching session, as we used to say. A kiss and a cuddle, and not much else, I might add. And Margaret would go outside with our drummer Doogie. And that went on for a bit. Then we spent some money on a van to transport the equipment and ourselves. And the only person that could drive the van was Doogie, the drummer. So we conspired one night, him and I, that what we'd do is we'd take all the equipment up the road, unpack it, take everybody home, and then take Laura and Margaret down to Lunderson Bay, which is Lunderson Bay is a couple of miles down the coast. And of course, as young lads, we were hoping to do the business with the girls. And this all, of course, was predicated on the fact that the weather would be dry and not so windy and not so cold. Came the Friday night, that's what happened. We did what we said. Took the gear back to my house, my mother's house. Then took the other guys home. And then Doogie and I and Laura and Margaret headed for Lunderson Bay with high hopes of something exciting about to happen. Now, Lunderson Bay is a little cove that is a little bit on the sandy side. Jesus. Yeah, this is a love story. And remember, I'm telling this at Laura's funeral. So when we got to Lunderson Bay, it wasn't bad at all. It was a beautiful, absolutely clear night. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. The stars were blazing in all their glory. All their glory. And so we got out of the van. I found a spot for Laura and I to lie down. And Doogie went elsewhere. What I didn't know, of course, was that he went back to the van. And him and Margaret did the wrenching in the van while Laura and I lay on this sand dune, slightly protected. The answer is no, Streaky. We did not do the dirty deed at all. So after a bit, Laura and I lit cigarettes up, of course, just like we had seen in the films, trying to be very sophisticated, etc. Although nothing had happened. And it was, I mean, it was truly, the stars were blazing from the heavens. And so to impress Laura, I started to tell her about the constellations above us, being an amateur astronomer. No, there's nothing risky about this. Laura was too frightened of what her mother would say if she found out. Anyway, nothing happened. And nothing happened between Dougie and Margaret either. That was the way it was back then. I think Laura was real. I think she was a bit impressed with my knowledge of the constellation. She couldn't. Took me forever, to show her where they were and how, she just couldn't see it. Well, you know yourself, it can be quite difficult to see these shapes in the heavens. So after a while of looking at the stars, Dougie came looking for us to go home, which we did. And that was the end of that. Now, what happened was, I don't know yet, Anglo. I haven't heard back from them. You're talking about Tight Highlander. I've left it up to them to sort out the arrangements about the handover of the camera, rather than me getting involved. They don't need me involved in the transaction. There's no money going to be involved. It's just a question of sorting out the details about how and when it's to happen. But yeah, it's a super gesture. And I vaguely know the camera. It's a good 35mm. It's no cheapskate camera, put it that way. It's a great start for her. You may well be right, Streaky. The story's not finished, of course. That's just part of it. As I say, I was telling this at the cremation. Yeah. So what happened next was that I got suckered into a marriage. I was told that this girl was pregnant. And of course, that meant you had to do the thing. You had to get married. Turned out she wasn't, of course. It turned out just to be a bloody lie, but that's another story in itself. So the short of it all is that Laura and I lost touch, and that was that. I went to live in Paisley for over 10 years, where I met what was to become my second wife, Helen, and where my son would be born, a Paisley buddy. Fast forward to 1993, And my wife Helen had contracted cancer in 1992, and by March the 16th of 1993, she was dead. Now, at this point, I decided that I would publish an anthology of poetry, and whatever money was raised from the sale of this book, I would give to the hospice, which is just round the corner from where I live. However, Helen was never in the hospice, and we never had any I'll get to you in a minute, tight Scotsman. So Helen was never in the hospice. Well, I felt drawn to the hospice because there was a couple of times late in the night, 3 in the morning, and I maybe I'd run out of morphine for her, and she was in pain, and I'd run round, actually run round to the hospice and bang on their door, and they always opened the door and tried to help me. Whether they could or not is another thing, but they tried. And that's why I decided to do this. I haven't heard anything from them myself. I'll send them an email. I'll send PBC an email over the weekend. I don't know anything about their arrangements at all, so I've no idea what might be going on. I've left it, as you might have heard me say, I've left it to them to get in touch with you. So they've got your details so that you and she and DJ can make arrangements for the handover of the camera, rather than it would only become more complex with me getting involved, and there's no need for me to be involved. But I'll write them an email over the weekend and see what's going on. So, so I'll go back to my story. So as I say, this was the plan, and that is why the plan came about, is because the hospice is there. They had given me advice and telephone numbers to phone to get help in the middle of the night, especially to get morphine, as you can imagine. And the local newspaper, the Telegraph, got a hold of the story about this and phoned me to find out was it true, and would I be interested in them doing a story on it, covering the whole story. I said, of course. So they came to the house and took details about the book, the poems, about me, why I was doing it, and what was going to happen to the money. So they took all that information, took some photographs. I gave them some photographs, and they gave me this full page spread, which was brilliant. Photograph of Helen, all about her, etc., etc. Uh, and that was great. What I didn't know was that Laura's friend Margaret was a telegraph reader. So she saw the story in the telegraph. And she phoned up Laura and said to her that did you know who was in the telegraph? Have you seen it? And she, well, Laura hadn't seen the telegraph yet. So she obviously got hold of it and recognised me from the photograph they had taken. And Laura decided that she'd get in touch with me. So somehow, against their own rules, I might add, the reporter gave out my work. Where I was working at the time. Now, I happened to be working in I was working in the schools, secondary schools, and Laura phoned up during the working day, of course. The thing was, though, when she did phone, I couldn't remember her. I had not a clue who she was. No recollection of any of it. You know, she said a few things that should have triggered my memory, but didn't. So after about 10-15 minutes of this, we decided to meet up. And we met up on a Saturday night. And that was in the days when the pubs still shut shortly after 10 o'clock. So eventually, as the pub was closing, I invited her back to my place. And when my son got up in the morning to go to work, Laura was still sitting in the kitchen talking, as we had done all night. And from that spark of friendship grew, over a couple of years, a romance. So much so that I think it was 1995, 1996, we went on holiday together for the first time. And we went to Spain. I had never been to Spain, and neither had she. So we got there, it was very late in the morning. It was after 1 o'clock in the morning. and we had purposely asked for you know, a room high up in the hotel, away from downstairs noise. So when we got to the room, I opened up my bag and took out this bottle of champagne that I had bought. No, did I? No, I didn't buy it. Beg your pardon. My pal Jerry, my big pal Jerry, had bought me this for graduating from uni, and I hadn't yet opened it. The So we poured good-sized glasses of real Bollinger shampoo and went out into the balcony. And there, of course, in the darkness of Spain, in the Mediterranean, the heaven was blazing with stars above us. Beautiful, beautiful evening. And Laura said, out of nowhere, it's just like Linderson Way, isn't it? And that brings a tear to my eye when I think about it. It nearly brought a tear to my eye at the funeral when I was telling the story that she had remembered, despite all the years that had passed, despite all the ups and downs of her life and mine, she remembered that one night. So there you go, folks. I'm over the moon. It was a perfect. It was like a romantic movie. It was a perfect ending. You know, all we had to do next was kiss, and we could fade to the end credits, and the music would swell. That's all it was missing. Anglo John, you and 42 are my favourite streams on YouTube. People like you keep me sane in a mad world. Well, thank you very much for that, Anglo. Oh, that's for sure, of course. It's it's when I think that it's not it's not a big thing that happened. You know, it was just a couple of teenagers, one hopefully on a make, and yet became became such a memory. So you can never tell. You can never tell. I would not have thought of that, to be honest, that would happen. Anyway, that's the story I told. People come up afterwards, of course, and are complimenting me on that anecdote. Seemed to resonate with folk. Stricky saying, we have all had bad times, bereavements, etc. That's true. But the happiest times make me saddest now. I know what you mean. Happiest time of my life was playing football with my muckers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very rarely it's some big. Oh, there's Pagan Tree. Good evening, Pagan Tree. Oh, you like the beard, do you? Well, thank you for that. Oh, it looks well. It looks well, does it? Uh, the very first time I did a eulogy was my late wife, Helen's. I haven't stopped since. People started asking me to do it. Aye. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. I'm going very shortly myself. You missed that. I'm not feeling that grand tonight, so I'm going to stop early. But thank you for being here anyway. Appreciate that. I always remember, folks, and I always say this at eulogies when I give them. No one's really dead so long as we remember them. They still are in our souls somewhere, so long as we remember them. A reactionary band, eh? I'll try and remember and have a look. Pagan Tree, thanks very much for the info. We'll get back to it, David. Don't worry too much. Grizzly adults. What can you do? Sansom needs his job, so He needs to toe the line. It'll soon be over. We'll get back to it. Wouldn't like to give it up either. Don't tend to give it up. Unicorn when I was a child. Oh, that's nice. I don't know who it was, but somebody bought me 3 coffees. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you very much, whoever it was. It might be our friend who just left, but who can say for sure? Not I. And that's absolutely it, David. I'm a firm believer in that. I really am. I used to say to my big pal Jerry before he passed away, yeah, absolutely. Oops. Sense was hiding because he voted Labour and put to power. He's getting it when I see a fellow stogie. Yeah. Streaky. Senzim has decided to spend more time on his career to develop, progress, rise through the ranks of McDonald's because McDonald's have given him extra hours. uh, really, David, that's interesting. I studied filmmaking for a while before dropping out and getting a real job on a building site, first job. Hi there, Richard. You're in the pub. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy your evening with your mates. Pagan Tree. Good to see you here, Treble M. Yeah, Treble M is the longest serving member of the chat. And the only time that she ever misses a show is when she's having a day away for a well earned rest, or she is uh, seeing to private family business of some sort. I forgot that was on, Jojo. Good evening to you, sir. Yeah, enjoy your night out with your mates in the pub. Good evening, Ludwig. Treble M has always been and continues to be a very generous person to not just the channel, but to me personally. Very generous over all these years. Stricky's saying, my last job is on a building site 5 hours ago, and I really liked it after months of benefit loving laziness. Uh, I think that's a truism there, Treble. We have all become friends, and uh, especially your good self there. Good evening, Steve. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Really? Really, Hashtag BMX. It's an Olympic sport. Good God. Breakdancing. Ah, you're having me on, folks. Surely. Surely you're having me on. You can't be. That can't be real. Surely that can't be real. Come on. I don't like athletics, to be honest with you. I really don't. What gets me is all the time it takes between races. Seems like for hours and hours. Then the race starts, vroom, it's over. Me. Oh God. Steve. Oh, John, when's the last time you sprinted 100 meters? Oh. Oh, probably in my 20s. A couple of times I had to run for my life, of course, when I was getting into fights in the dance halls. Not when I was playing in the group, of course, but the odd time I went as a punter. I seriously don't like athletics. It's not the actual race that I don't like. It's all the time spent in between. Ether elephant. Oh, I tell you. Oops, then it's there. Legging it. It should be an Olympic sport. Yep, legging it. Gymnastics is something else. That's something worth watching. I used to be quite good at gymnastics when I was in school, and it was even better when I was out of school. I used to do gymnastics on the street. Very good, Steve. I do have a chance for watching women's beach volleyball. Can't imagine why. Gymnastics is BMX without a bike. Ah, so I've done not bad. I've lasted close to an hour and a half. So so that's two women I've buried, so to speak. I'm feeling better now, thank you. Believe it or not, bit of company. You're good company here. The heating's been on for a while, so I'm getting cozier. And I'm going to go and get something to eat. I feel a lot better. And I'll see, I'll be back, God willing, on Tuesday. So that's something. And I hope you all get decent weather at the weekend. And if you do, make the most of it. Well, that's what I would say, Streaky. Exactly what you're saying. You're all top people. A warm drink and get to bed. There is that, Hasmac. I've never tried anything like that, Streaky. I don't have the courage to try it. But anyway, let me bring on the music, shall I? The music, Ovaltine. Actually, my favourite drink at night, and my mother started this when I was a wee boy in school, is Cadbury's hot chocolate. I don't know how I've only spoken to the man once since their son died. I don't think they're doing particularly well because I don't see them out at all. So I don't know how they're doing. It's a dreadful situation to be in. I just listened that day when he was telling me about it. Steve, I haven't taken a cup of coffee since I took ill way back. Fear not, fear not, fear nothing. Yeah, that's what I say, Steve. Bless them. I just, what can you say? There's words are totally inadequate. Only time will help. So anyway, oh, we'll treble him. We're planning a day away. We're going on the last paddle seamer, the Waverley. going for a sail down the water, as they used to say. Uh, Not this weekend, thankfully, but next weekend with a bit of luck. So anyway, folks, as I like to say, adios, au revoir, cheerio, and until Tuesday, 9 o'clock, goodbye for now. Take care of yourself, and thank you all of you, for being here. Appreciate it. Means a lot. Enjoy the music, my friends. Take care of yourselves. We'll speak soon. I know what's happened to Packer.
Silently the snow falls, paints a winter scene, swiftly spreads the dark rim, hides the fading autumn green. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, conjure friendships dear to me. Lightly now the breeze flows, disturbing more than just the leaves. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow. Patiently the love grows, lifts the weary heart. Gently now she holds me, melts two worlds once apart. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, usher dreams of you and me. Softly then the breeze blows, disturbing more than just the trees.
All together
But
now.
love's much more
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow
But an important goal.
in the eternal flow. Melodies of long ago, songs of innocence, harmonies to soothe the soul, past the consequence. Moonbeams brush the dark wood, awakening joys of you and me. Silently the snow falls, bringing winter symphony.
All together now.
But we're much more
So much more
than we can know.
than we can ever possibly know.
We are one small glow
But an important glow.
in the eternal flow. But life's much more than we can know. We are one small glow in the eternal flow.
Take care, folks. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.